Rachel and I are walking up to the top of the prairie. Janet's going to follow along. Rachel and I are hoping to get some pictures. So the idea here is that I videotape the entire way. Whoops, I don't want to go that way. There we go. I was zoomed in a little bit, and it doesn't work as well. Okay, right here is the stock tank for the cows. Jack has about 65 cows back here. There are some bulls. I asked him if they were mean, and he didn't say anything about that. So we'll find out. Last night we walked up here in the dark. Didn't see the sunset other than from the camp, and it wasn't really very pretty last night. We're hoping it's a good one tonight. There's some clouds in the west. Unfortunately, though, they're pretty thick over there, so it actually might obscure a sunset that we would see. So I'd like to maybe videotape the prairie in the morning too. This is going to tell us how long it takes us to walk up there. I've timed it. I can really hurrying one time. I made it in about 12 minutes, but that was going way too fast. It was a marathon kind of thing. See, over there by that tree is a little pond. I don't know if there's water in it. We haven't been over there yet. In fact, the only time we've been up here on the prairie this trip was last night, and it was in the dark. I wasn't about to go checking out the pond in the dark. My dad, Elmer Olson, grew up here between about the age 6 and 16, and this would have been a place where he would have come to play and then, as an older person, work. Dad always told the story that when he graduated from the 8th grade, his dad handed him the reins to the plow and told him that was his work then. Dad was Grandpa Ole was pretty old, so he was married when he was 46, so he was getting too old to do a lot of work, but he lived to be 94, and we read the story that he had dictated when he was visiting relatives, Elmer and Ole and the other relatives back here in Missouri in 1958. We read that story during the time we were here out loud, so we could all enjoy. So anyway, Rachel's got her camera along. In fact, Rachel came with us this year. I wouldn't call it a convenience, but she was laid off her job the end of July, and I realized that she could go with us. And the chances of her,
keep going.
the chances of her, you don't want me in the picture, do you? Well, the chances of her getting to go on this trip are pretty slim, because she'd be working and wouldn't be able to take the time off from work to come on a trip with her mom and her aunt. So this time she decided, why not? I'm going. And so it's been a lot of fun. She's just taken to it like a duck to water. Put up with all our crazy relatives we've seen so far. And even today we went into Taylor to get some ice because it's been so unbearably hot. It was 100 degrees on our setup day on Thursday. That was yesterday. Today wasn't quite as hot, but the ice doesn't last very long, so we went into town to get ice in Taylor, and at the convenience store, gas station, which is the only place you can get ice in that town, the little table where you could sit and visit and eat ice cream or whatever else that you get. Had two farmers at it. Actually, they weren't farmers. We asked if we could sit down and join them, and they said sure. One of them was a plumbing supply representative. The other, I don't know if he was a plumber or not, but they were from the area. Not outside of Nebraska like we are. And so we visited a while with them, and we ate our ice cream. It was a lot of fun. Rachel just joined in, and Janet and me, of course. Oh, this is a challenge to hold this and walk. Let's see where Rachel is. Oh, she's catching up. Janet will catch up to us. Last night we came up here, like I said, in the dark. We spread out the Tyvek and watched the stars, looked at the Milky Way, and we saw several meteors, which was so neat because the sky is really good and dark and the stars show up beautifully. And then walked back in the dark. There is not much of a, oh, there went some birds. There's not much of a moon, I mean there is the moon, but it doesn't come out until later in the night, and it's a quarter moon. By Wednesday next week we won't have any moon. And there's been many times that Janet and I have walked back from the Prairie in the dark without turning our flashlights on, because the moon would be so bright. We could see exactly where we were going. And you turn the lights on, it kind of takes away from the beauty of the night and the Prairie. So this is a little harder going because it's really soft, powdery sand and dirt. So it slows you down quite a bit. Did you see the birds I scared up?
No.
I didn't get them on the video, but there were two. They weren't pheasant. When Janet and I were young, Dad came up here to go pheasant hunting. We, of course, came with him. 1963, we got out the calendar at Mom's, that we got from Mom's stuff for 1963, and it, I'm going to spin around here. Rachel's taking some pictures of something. Probably some flowers. Anyway, we came up here pheasant hunting in 1963. Of course, Dad's the one that went pheasant hunting, not us. And we did come and see this place, and I remember it. And I remember it pretty well for the way it looked. I was slightly off on directions of the kitchen in the house, but other than that, I was pretty right on. And it was a fun experience. We spent most of our time, though, in Round Valley. We didn't stay here, and no one was living here at the time in '63. So, I hear something. Maybe somebody's out in a four-wheeler. Wouldn't be on this property. It would be maybe Dwayne is out. Dwayne's a neighbor. Dwayne and Nelvin Howard live to the north of here. And they're, at least in this local area here, they own the highest property. The Prairie is the highest, and they've taken us up there several times in their truck, and we've watched the sunset and visited with them. Okay, let's swing around here. Okay, we're at the highest point for the road that goes up to the prairie. And at this point, then we go on ahead and cut across onto the hill. Okay, there's the house. There's Rachel taking some pictures. I hope I don't step in any holes. There's some prickly pear up here, prickly pear cactus, and also some roses. The roses, let me get down here. There's rose hips. They are really pretty. Lots of pretty red rose hips. We're not making jelly out of it though. We're not that good. Okay, here comes Rachel. Tired? I think it's just going to get dark. I don't think we're going to get a gorgeous sunset. I think the sun's already down. I'll see if I can find a place we spread our Tyvek out. Tyvek is a material used in construction. It's pretty durable and it's thin and it's somewhat waterproof and it's lightweight, so it really makes a nice thing to have for that. Anyway, Janet, do you see Janet? I'm going to go a little bit further here and then do a 360.